Good morning, Michael. Who's your little friend?
Hi, Donna. It's Mojo.
Who?
Mojo. Right, Mojo?
Mojo?
You know his name, don't you, Mojo?
Good morning, Alejandra. How are you?
Good morning, Donna. Fine. And you? Hello, everyone.
I'm good, thank you. I'll go ahead and get our stream, get you started as interpreter.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Good to see you. Good morning, Neely. Good morning, Patricia. Good morning, Rainey.
Good morning, Donna.
Hey, Randy. See you.
Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Venerable Tenzin Lamo. Good morning, Carolina. Geshe Gelik is here.
Please have a seat. Have a seat, please. Good morning. Good morning, Venerable Lamo. Amala, good morning, Venerable Tenzin Lamo.
Good morning, Gesla.
Venerable Kelsang. Good morning, Domasi. Good morning, Nico. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Edwin, Alexander. Yeah. Thank you for translating. Good morning, Renee. Good morning, Dr. Watkin. Good morning, Neely Wong. Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Suzanne. Good morning, Panditji, Pati, Rashidilek, Alex, Sandra. Good morning, Patricia, Patagonia. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Mojo. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Rainey. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Mojo. Good morning, Patricia, Patagonia. Good morning, Mojo. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Patricia, Patagonia. Good morning, Carolina. Both of you, good morning. Ninji. Good morning, Wenlo Ching. Good morning, Susie. Good morning, Govina. Good morning, Marcelo Fernandez, Bariloche, Patagonia. Good morning, Helen. Good morning, Felix. Good morning, Meditate. Good morning, Bodhisattva Pratik. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, anybody who's watching on YouTube. Good morning. So let's begin with a short prayer. Venerable Hamala will lead.
Let's begin with Shakyamuni Buddha's mantra 3 times. Teyata mune mune mahamunayi soha. Teyata mune mune mahamunayi soha. Teyata mune mune mahamunayi soha. Now, Medicine Buddha stanza and mantra. Bhagawan with equal compassion for all, whose name, when merely heard, dispels the suffering of the lower realms, dispel disease in the 3 poisons, I prostrate to Medicine Buddha, lapis light.
Please think about like David Stevens, one of our member, and also recovering from accident. Also think about Julie Jones, one of Julie Jones' friends who passed away last week. So, and all the people on the prayer list, and together with all the people who are like experiencing difficulty, mental difficulty. Please think about them as much as possible. So wherever there might be, like every corner of the world, so then think about that while you're reciting the Medicine Buddha mantra. So then nectar flows, or you can visualize Medicine Buddha in the form of light on their crown. So then while we are reciting Medicine Buddha mantra, the nectar flows, then purify all the physical sicknesses, mental difficulties, or mental challenge, completely purify their life, become free from health problems and mental problems. Okay.
Teyata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, adza samugate soha. Teyata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, adza samugate soha. Teyata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, Ata samugate soha. Teata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, rata samugate soha. Teata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, rata samugate soha. Teata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugate soha. Teata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugate soha. Okay, now the 4 measurables. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. And now the verse of praise and mantra for Chenrezig, the Buddha of Great Compassion. Not veiled by any fault, white in color, whose head a perfect Buddha crowns in light. Gazing compassionately at all beings, to you, Chenrezig, all seeing one, I prostrate. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Next is Green Tara, verse of praise and mantra. Tare liberates from cyclic existence. Tutare liberates from all fears. Ture liberates from all sickness. I prostrate to liberate a mother, Tara. Om Tare Tu Re So Ha. 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 And now the refuge in Bodhicitta prayer, led by Geshe-la.
All my friends, please try to develop positive intention for the class. So that's the purpose of reciting Bodhicitta prayers to develop positive intentions for here like for the Dharma class. Okay. Sanje choda soje chonam la chanjo pardon dane jabzo dage chuje jibe sonam je rola penje sanje ro. Sanje choda soje chonam la chanjo pardon dane jabzo je dage chuje jibe sonam je rola penje sanje ro. Sanje chodan soje chonam la chanjo pardon dane jabzo dage chuje jibe sonam je rola penje sanje ro. Namo alaya ketan lo dande senge te bonda dame ketan. 라다라베 미나미나 라다라미 미나미야지 omboda jaje lazo chuche chola chawa chawa namo sanje sura rabdo chuche dene jujo de dawa sheje ya tabe chunye jinde de sheje namo ala ya da lo da de je to wanda da mi ke nam do kunde do tamje ke do da ge chute do kange tuze nye sunde dawa tamje pambe tabe chunye de je ba godam de lo chok se lo Oh, good morning, Jill. Good morning, CJ. Good morning, John. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Hen.
Oh, good morning, Kisela.
Good morning, Antonio. Good morning, Lee. I forget anybody. Oh, good morning, Suzanne. Suzanne Daniel. Good morning. Any question, Ramasi?
Yes, Kisela, I have a few questions left from, I think, 2 weeks ago. So when we were, they come from when we were having a lot of discussion about shunyata. One is very simple, just is suchness the same as Dharma Dhatu? Do you want me to just read all the questions or one at a time?
Question is suchness is like Dharma Dhatu. Generally speaking, suchness is not Dharma Dhatu. No, Dharma Dhatu, that's like what's the English translation for Dharma Dhatu? Oh, Dharma Dhatu is in English speaking country.
Is it the seed of truth, Geshe-la?
Huh?
Is it seed of truth?
Seed of truth?
Seed of truth.
Sorry, I couldn't see. Who's talking?
That was Mike Flaherty.
Oh, seed of truth.
I've also heard it called the fabric of reality. Dharma Dhatu.
Fabric of reality.
But I don't really know what that means either.
Who's the concept?
Also heard it translated as Chunyi, true nature of reality.
Chuni.
Chunyi,
Yeah, Chuni is like suchness. Tejini, suchness, same thing. Tejini, Chuni, these are same thing. Sometimes they use these different terms for emptiness, such as like Dzogchen, Mahamudra, Dharma Dhatu. So basically it means not different than suchness. Pretty much same as suchness, which is like true nature of true nature of rebirth, death, pardo, true nature of anything. So sometimes that certain terms they use for certain things are Dharma Dhatu, suchness. Yeah, if it's like Chuying, so that's not different than Shunyata, same thing. Same thing. Dharma Dhatu. Chuku. Dharma Dhatu is the Sanskrit is different than Dharmakaya or same thing? Because I'm not familiar with this term, Dharma Dhatu. If it's like same as Dharmakaya, so then probably means something different. Kaya usually refers to when you achieve kayas, when you achieve enlightenment, you achieve kaya. So before that, in the Vajrayana practice, you just imagine you're just trying to chiva chukos na kadam. The ordinary death, then you are imagining that is like Dharmakaya. Actually, it's not Dharmakaya, but during the practice, you imagine Dharmakaya. Because what happened when we go to sleep? So this all this dissolution process happen. Similar dissolution process is like 25 constituents dissolve with the 4 element. So then that very end of that, like resolutions. So that is, generally speaking, that's like actual death. So, but you are not really dead, so that you are kind of falling asleep. So then when you reach there, so then you kind of like try to transform that into Dharmakaya. Then dream, then you're trying to utilize your dream as like Sambhogakaya. Then like when you awake, so that you're trying to utilize that as like Rupakaya or something like that. But if it's not different, then Chuying means suchness, okay? Yeah, so, yeah. Then what is the second question? Very good questions. So I appreciated everybody who asked questions. So a lot of people, probably get benefited from your questions.
Okay, the next question. Even if we have some intellectual understanding of suchness or shunyata or emptiness, how can we practically use that awareness in day-to-day life, moment to moment, to help stop complications?
When you are meditating on shunyata, so when you come out of that meditations, if that meditation has been successful, when you come out of that meditations, you see you see things, not necessarily you believe them. What you see, what you hear. Normally, we believe what we see, not all the time, but pretty much out of 100%, 99%, we believe what we see, what we hear. Most of the time, is not correct. And we take things very seriously, very seriously. So when you come out of the meditation of shunyata, then it's almost like illusions. It's almost like that you are not seeing something serious. You are seeing things are like illusions. Because you realize during the meditation of shunyata, you realize thing doesn't exist the way you perceive them. Thing does not exist exactly the way you perceive them. So you yourself doesn't exist exactly where you perceive yourself. Doesn't exist exactly the way you perceive. So you figure that out during the meditation of shunyata. You realize that yeah, that's how it helps. That's like briefly, that's how it helps. When you come out of the meditations and things are, like you realize they are like part of your perception is not like exactly out there how you perceive them, and you realize it's part of your perceptions. Now your perceptions totally change, and you see things differently. Seeing is not a problem, but believing in that, believing, called, what do you call that? Anybody know the word shampa? Shampa. Shampa, like not just seeing, believing in, not just seeing, believing. Like illusionists, when they create elephant or horse out of like piece of wood, what do you see? You see elephant, you see horse, beautiful horse, you see elephant. What illusionists see same thing. He or she is the one who created out of piece of wood. What he or she sees elephant. What's the difference? Illusionist doesn't believe that elephant is like created out of piece of wood or piece of stone. But you believe there is elephant, not just see. You also believe, that's called Shampa, that you believe you take that elephant very seriously. You take that horse very seriously, even though it just create out of like piece of wood. So illusionist and the audience both sees the horse, but the illusionist does not believe what he or she sees. So, but you believe, and you have all kinds of opinions being generated based on that belief, on your perceptions. Then all kinds of like judgmental thought, all kinds of stories that rise. Minute you realize that is merely imputed by your mind, nothing more, nothing less. It's just merely imputed by your mind. That's not how we see things. We see them as these are like very solid, serious, absolute, inherent, independent. So then we get stuck. So meditation or shunyata helps you to how to analyze. Don't just believe what you see, analyze. Okay, so generally speaking, when you come out of this successful meditation on shunyata, you see things like are like illusions. What that means, it means it looks exactly like moon, but it's not moon, it's the reflection of the moon. It looks exactly like moon, but it's not moon, it's like the reflection of moon. It looks exactly like your face in the mirror, but that's not your face. It's the reflection of your face. So don't believe what you see in the mirror. That's not that you just see. That's called reflection. It's not your face. It's a reflection of your face. And similarly, as I mentioned before, the piece of rope, the coil like snake outside in your deck or right outside your door, many different things they contributed because there's not strong light there, it's not enough light, the rope is a coil like snake, then you start to project on this snake. Then the piece of rope becomes snake. In your mind, it becomes real snake. So then all kind of like anxiety or like stress rise based on this piece of rope. Only way to get rid of those anxiety, fear is to find out whether that piece of rope is snake or not. Probably you need bright light, more strong light. You go inside, bring bright light, or maybe get piece of wood, move around, and you'll find out. So that is like piece of rope. Maybe you are like, how you say, people do a jumping jack. What is it called? The people do what it's called?
Jump rope.
Jump rope. that's your jump rope. It's not snake. Because momentarily that jump rope become like rattlesnake, not just snake in my creed. So now when you find out there's your jump rope, where everything that you see, like you see snake, where the snake went? That snake is merely imputed on this piece of rope, which sitting there coiling like snake. You can't see very well because there's no enough light. So that's why what happened. Because of that, there's many conditions, so like ignorance, many conditions that kind of like cause us to see things in certain way, even though they are not in that way, but we end up seeing in certain way, then we not just see, but we believe. So then they create so much, stress, anxiety, fear, all of that. Jadov Jumata things post meditations, the Jadov Jumata things, Jadov post meditation means you just came out of the meditations, actual meditations. Then that's called post meditations. Jumata things, samadhi or concentrations like illusions. Concentration like illusions. So that's what, if our meditation or shunyata is successful, so that's what happens. Okay. So need to analyze, don't just react or just believe, but you need to analyze. Then what else? I think that's enough.
Okay, so the next question is, how does a realization of emptiness make us more compassionate?
Maybe it's time to end the class. Now questions become tougher and tougher. Say, repeat again.
How does a realization of emptiness make us more compassionate? So the text that's composed by Chandakriti, entering into the middle way. So when you read the text in the very beginning at the homage sections, the text homage sections, talks about three types of compassions. Basically, Chandakriti is making homage. The compassion rise mainly focusing on sentient beings. So that usually that kind of compassion arise. You gain some knowledge. You learn what is samsara. You kind of study what is samsara, what kind of complication that is associated with the samsara, general samsara. You learn that. General complications of samsara is like losing body again and again. That's one. Not being satisfied. That's one. Nothing is certain. Two. Losing body again and again.
taking rebirth again and again. Sometimes up, sometimes down. It's like roller coaster. Sometimes, whether it's like positions, like pleasure. It's like life is like roller coaster. Sometimes goes up, sometimes goes down, like that. And then top of that is body. Because of this body, so many complications rise. Because of this body, because of this head, you get headache. If you don't have head, you never get headache. So there's things like that. You realize these are not just my issue; it's the issues of samsara. If you are not free from samsara, that's what happens. It's hard to be content. It's hard to be satisfied. Don't just take that very personally. That's like, it's not just you, everybody else going to the same thing. And based on that knowledge, you kind of understood, oh, it's not just me, everybody else is going to the same thing. Because you feel sorry, you feel very sorry that you are going through that, simply being part of samsara. And you feel very sorry for yourself. And you're thinking seriously how to help yourself, maybe how to free yourself from that kind of complication or problems. Then when you look around, everybody else, neighbor that you don't like, going through the same thing. Co-worker you don't like, going through the same thing. The boss at your job you don't like, going through the same thing. Other side of the party, they're going to the same thing. Everybody else is going to the same thing. So then that very knowledge becomes the foundation for your universal compassion. It's nothing to do with either they are related to me, not related to my tribe, their tribe, they believe same religion, it's nothing to do with that. It's simply they are going through the same complication that you are going through, that you feel very sorry for yourself, and you are trying all your best to liberate yourself from that, and you are thinking everybody else, then you're also thinking to help them to free, liberate from these kind of complications. These complications are not going to be exhausted, simply you experience them. We experience them multiple times. That's not how these complications will exhaust, by experiencing them up. It needs to be liberated. So that becomes the foundation. Then that is the foundation for your universal compassion, simply focusing on that. That's the first type of compassion. The second type of compassion is very much powered by knowledge of emptiness, not knowledge of impermanent. Then the last one, when you read the text at the beginning, you'll see the last one is very much powered by knowledge about shunyata. That compassion is like produced by the knowledge of shunyata. That's how the meditation on emptiness will help, or shunyata will help to you to develop compassion. Okay, so you read the text, so then probably you'll understand a little bit better. All right. Universal way to develop universal compassion based on knowledge of general complications of samsara. The first one. Second, based on change. Third, the based on shunyata. All these problems occur due to the fundamental confusion or ignorance. All right. So then maybe any of the venerable nuns, you want to add something more? Yeah, please, if you want to add something more, please do. Anybody want to say something? Say more than let me run to the bathroom, then I'll come back, so then we'll continue, okay? Any of none, maybe any venerable nun, or maybe Dr. Watkin want to say something? All of you qualify. So any other questions, Tomasi?
Yes, Geshe-la, there are a couple of more questions.
Okay, so today I thought maybe I'll do some meditation. So we'll see. So give me 1 minute, okay?
Okay.
So then meanwhile, please somebody don't just sit there or maybe say something or talk. Go on.
If no one has anything to offer, Venerable Lama, maybe we can do Tara praises while Geshe-la is away.
Hello. Hi. Hello, everyone. Yes, hi. My name is Hian, and it is my first time that I attend the Zoom meeting with Kisela today. And I just want to say thank you to Jinten Lamo and everyone allow me to attend the meeting today. Thank you so much, and I hope I can attend every Sunday. I have a question, if that's okay, please.
Yeah.
So my question is, Kisela was talking about the text about compassion, three different kinds of compassion, and he was saying that we can read the text. So can I ask what's the text called, or is there anything that you recommend that I can read more about that, about what he was talking today? Like,
Yes, Hian, the text is called Entering into the Middle Way, and it is by Chandra Kirti. I'll put that in the chat.
oh, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. I guess that's all my questions for today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Venerable Lama, maybe we can say Tara mantras or Mani mantras until Geshe-la returns.
I'm trying to share it on the screen. Let's see. I think this might be it. Not sure. From your Sublime Abode at the
Potala.
I'm sorry. We this needs to be in Spanish also, correct?
Let's just say Tara mantras.
Okay.
Then we don't need a translation. We don't need the screen.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for that. Complication associated with this body. So, Namaste, now what are other questions? And how much time we have?
We have about a little bit more, about 20
Yeah.
minutes, 18 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, please
So-
read one more question, then probably save
Okay.
for yeah.
This question is, if I think of my soul as that part of me that continues, the part that is reborn again and again, why isn't my consciousness me or the self?
when you talk about consciousness, there's like 6 mental consciousness. There's 6 of them. Do you like to have 6 of yourself? Don't you think one is more than enough? That's like when you talk about, if you think the consciousness is you, so which one is, which consciousness do you think is you? Which consciousness? So this is like, there's a lot of debate. There's a lot of debate, like a philosophical debate. Yeah, this is not the first time that somebody thought that's I am my consciousness. This idea has already been debated. And it's not the first time that somebody thought that, oh, my body is me. That, that idea is very much debated, or that consciousness, and consciousness, there are 6 of them. So, according to the Pasankiga, there's, even though there's 4 different systems, and each system is almost like kindergarten, elementary, high school, college. There's all this. It's like preparing you to grow. Or, you learn something in kindergarten, pre-K, kindergarten. So then it's all kind of preparing you to grow. Same, this 4th system is designed like that, trying to understand shunyata. That, maybe kindergarten, you may teach according to kindergarten level, maybe you teach about shunyata. So that's not the final one. Then when you go to the high school, they also talk to you about shunyata based on high school level. So then when you go to college, it kind of like improves. So the last system is called Pasankiga, Madhyamika Pasankiga. So then in that systems, there's like now there's a last system that you like now your understanding of emptiness fully, I say, develop. Your understanding of self is fully developed, even though in the kindergarten level, that your understanding of self is not fully developed, but you do have some understanding what self means. In the Prasangika system, now that understanding is fully developed. There's no further development. It's like it's not complete. There, it's called like mere self. Mere self. That's the ones come from previous life. Here, it will go to next life, the mere self. All right, the mere self. Body, according to the Tantra teachings, body grows subtle, very subtle. Energy grows subtle, very subtle. Gross body does not go to next life. It will finish when you die. Gross and subtle. When you talk about subtle body, so then you talk about it's not different than energy. Subtle body is not different than energy. The very subtle body is not different than very subtle energy. When you talk about gross body, then this is like this subtle body, then it goes down to the energy. You cannot really see or touch. Still considered as a body, but you can't really touch and see. So the very subtle body, then you can so that's like the very beginning of our rebirth, very, very beginning of rebirth. The consciousness, every consciousness, as I mentioned many times, the consciousness itself is like person with eye but no feet to move around. Understand? Person with eye, the vision, clear vision, but not feet to move around. That's consciousness. Energy has feet to move around, but not doesn't have eye. Understand? Combine, can see, can move around. Because you see because consciousness, you move around because of energy. So that means every consciousness is kind of like come with energy. Without energy, consciousness cannot move around. When you think about now, Kadamba Center, you're already there. When you think of your hometown, that's all done by energy. Energy is the one that moves the consciousness. Without energy, consciousness cannot move. Without consciousness, energy cannot see anything. With together, there's like healthy person, able to move, able to see, like that. So very beginning of our rebirth, very beginning of our birth, there's like consciousness that comes with the energy. That consciousness is the most subtle consciousness. You could say primordial consciousness. That's what it is. Energy that comes with that consciousness, this is the subtle body. So that body will go all the way to enlightenment. So now it sounds like that consciousness is the one. Yeah, consciousness do go all the way to enlightenment. Does that mean the consciousness is me? I don't think so. The me is like mere self. Self does merely labor on the aggregate. That's called self. When you're analyze, when you're trying to find, probably you couldn't find. That doesn't mean, like self doesn't exist. I know, self do exist. Self cause all kind of problem every day. Self do exist. So I don't think we have came to the conclusion that self doesn't exist. Yeah, self is the one interact with everything. Okay, so then according to the highest Yoga Tantra teachings, these are the only two: subtle, very subtle; gross, subtle, very subtle. Energy, same, gross, subtle, very subtle. Very subtle energy, very subtle body, very subtle consciousness, and very subtle body refers to the energy in the very beginning of birth. Minute you enter consciousness into the mother's womb, so there's the first moment of consciousness. That's called primordial consciousness, that which comes from, this is like the bigger part of the river. This life is a small part. The river runs like that. Okay? So now only 10 minutes. So yeah, maybe finish the question. Now 10 minutes not enough. So sorry, because my teaching style is not the best one, because I don't explain things in very order. I just like goat eating grass. Eat here, the tip doesn't finish all the way down, then jump to another piece. There's one kind of teaching style, never finish, never go in order. Touch a little bit here, touch a little bit there. So then another is like crow making nest. It's not in very order. It's all kind of messed up, like. So my teaching style is all of them together, all messed up. It's not in order. Some bird, they make their nest very neat. Crow, they just throw everything whenever they get like this. So then, sorry, they maybe you probably get all confused because I throw everything there, not in order. So yeah, so meditation that I want to, it's not new one, but it's like I already talked, so probably need to make it more order to sake of knowledge. And if somebody out there want to do meditation, so I just want to make it like order, so then you can know something to follow. Okay, I think that 10 minutes is not enough, so there's not enough time. So please, Dharma, read another questions. Maybe next Sunday.
Okay, Geshe-la, the question is, His Holiness the Dalai Lama has frequently mentioned how important it is to meditate daily on the four absurdities of objective existence as taught by Chandrakirti in Entering the Middle Way. Would Geshe-la please teach how to meditate on these four absurdities?
What is absurdity?
Absurdity is something that's sort of nonsense.
Nonsense?
Lama, can you help?
Absurdity is, I'm not sure what to do.
Can anyone help with another word than absurdity?
4 point?
It's
4
Geshe-la,
point. Huh?
yeah, if there is inherent existence, then these four things would be true, but it's impossible for these four things to be true.
What are those 4 things? Doesn't rings any bell quite yet? So what are
Like
the 4
if,
things?
well, I'm hoping you'll tell us, but I think one of the examples is then an Arya being would see that all things are truly existent, which we know isn't the case. So it's things that are ridiculous. They don't make any sense.
No enough English here. There's no enough English to translate all this debate into English. So need to take rebirth in America again. So then I'll be fluent in American. I'll be fluent in English. So now it's too old to. Oh, God. Lamula, didn't you read in like Lama Tsongkhapa? I thought like all the nuns are reading that some text. Sean is not here. If Sean probably have something to say, but Sean is not here.
We're just on volume 1 of the Lamrim Chenmo.
Okay. Yeah, I understand the question, but saying in Tibet is not going to help. But even saying in Tibetan is very hard. There's a like the chewing like the like. Can you repeat that again a little bit?
If things inherently existed, then the Arya beings would realize it.
Yeah, that's one of them. Maybe you are doing much better job than I do, so that's very good.
I don't know, Geshe-la. It's my question to you, actually.
I feel fortunate that Chewing was here. So then rest three of them. Maybe you can to research, but in English. So then, yeah, maybe Domestic, you repeat the question like 4.
Yes, the question is, His Holiness has frequently mentioned how important it is to meditate daily on the 4 absurdities of objective existence, as taught by Chandrakirti in Entering the Middle Way. Geshe-la, we could save this question for next week, and in the meantime, we can do research on.
Okay, this is the last questions.
There are a couple of other questions.
Okay, I really appreciate that. That means you are really showing some interest, key interest. I can tell by the questions. That's very good. No need to learn. That's very good. So,
so the last question that we have is, does the meditation on emptiness end with what ultimate reality is not? Or does the meditation go on to define what ultimate reality is? So is the meditation end with a negation or?
Now, the whole purpose of like meditation on shunyata is to experience what is shunyata, experience what is shunyata, to gain meditative experience of shunyata. You know, of course, the first you study what is shunyata, then you think about that, then you think deep. So then the whole purpose of that is to gain experience of shunyata. So then hopefully it will stop the root of all the problems. That's the whole idea, is to free yourself from all these complications, so for good. So that's the whole purpose, is to free yourself from all the complications. That's when you see Shakyamuni Buddha's image, when you see, so that's the first thing you need to remember, the kindness the Buddha discovered was the shunyata and the way out of all these complications. So that's the best, according to Lama Tsongkhapa, best way to praise Shakyamuni Buddha, based on his experience of shunyata that leads to liberations. Everything in this life, not just this life, many more life. Unfortunately, we don't remember. Probably there's many clues, but we don't have strong mindfulness. So probably we miss many clues. What this life, before this life, has been like. Probably they have many clues based on interest, things that you do, things that you like to do, but our mindfulness is not that strong. So anyway, so the whole purpose is to gain experience of shunyata, meditations. So then not just meditate and hope to gain something, realization of shunyata. Okay? So I think that's good. So now time is, there's 30 seconds left. So see you next Sunday. So then hoping that I'm thinking to to make it order of this meditation. So then there's if you're out there to want to meditate, so now then need to make the instructions order, not just here, there, not like crow's nest. So try to make it a little more order. Okay. So then I will probably find out that how to say that questions, the very good questions in English. So, or maybe whenever Chewing will take full responsibility to answer that question. So then I'll be very, very happy.
I can't answer it, Geshe-la, because it's my question.
Oh, that's your question.
Yes, Geshe-la.
Okay, all right. All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, so, okay. So thank you very much. So thank you for coming to the class. And all of you have a wonderful weekend. So then see you next Sunday. Or some of you then see you next Wednesday, okay? Thank you, children, or Alexander, helping to translate all the people back in Patagonia. And hopefully that I will see you sooner than later, okay? Thank you. And anybody watching on YouTube, have a wonderful weekend.
May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of our merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water, and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may these never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then, may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Now the long life prayers. Course for His Holiness, in the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful Chenrezig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. The one for Sarah J. Cancer Rinpoche Jetsunmo Sandala. The one who mastered his speech at a very young age. The one with great patience who received the name Alatare. The one with great precision who spread the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa on bliss and void. Lama, ornament of the yellow hat tradition. Please remain until samsara ends. And then a long life prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplish magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. And then 7 green tar mantras for Geshe Gillick and Geshe Samples, long, healthy, happy lives. Om Tare Tu Re So Ha. 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 Om Tare Tu Re So Ha.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thanks, Geshe.